Good afternoon, traders and followers. I hope everybody's doing well. Mr. Realistic here. Hoping everybody had a pretty even day or green. I know it was a little bloody out there. I'm going to go over that before I get into what you're all looking forward to. But before I can do that, just please know that I am not a financial advisor. Everything that I say or do is solely for entertainment purposes. Okay, please do your DD before you do anything. This is all just my opinion for entertainment. All right, that being said, we had a pullback in the market, some today on the bigger markets the last 2 days, which is no shock. And they had some um, news out on inflation numbers being the highest 30 years. That should be no surprise to anybody. So the fact that people are surprised by this and selling doesn't really make sense. Um, I mean, just go to the grocery store. Look at the gas pumps. Go anywhere. Duh. All right. Anyways, let's forget that. Let's move on. So QQQ up here, Nasdaq. All right. This is a huge trend to follow the big markets right here. As you can see, this thing's been following a huge trend. It's had a small pullback every time. As I told you all, we need to build those steps. You just can't continue to go straight up. All right. You have to come down some, and then you gradually go. All right. So this is the daily. So we started this on October 6th. We're on the 10th of um, November. So we're over a month. All right. We're due for some type of pullback right here in the QQQ. So we're just building a step right now. Okay. So, I mean, look at this thing. I mean, seriously? Don't listen to the news. As we all know, the news is literally FUD central. That's how they make all their money. That's why I don't watch the news. Do do quite all right without watching the news. All right. Look at the indicators. All right. This is weekly right here. Look at the years. Okay. I'd say it's doing pretty well over the years. Okay. So, um, when was the last time the 200 was above? Oh 04. All right, so I digress. We were due. This is the weekly right here. We're due for some type of pullback. It's probably going to happen a little bit more before we get going. Um, hey, we knew November was going to be a little bit slower as the data I showed on the OTCs based on the past, and you got holidays up, so that's not a shock. Shouldn't be a shock to anybody. All right, so here is our um, iShares Russell 2000 ETF. All right, small market caps. So let's see here. Bum, 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 bum. Looks pretty good. All right, this is daily. Okay, we've had the last 3 days. I told you all, we're gonna have to build that up. So this is due to be expected. I don't know why. I know why people get because they don't understand, but if you all know my methods here, okay, you got to build the steps to continue to go up. Look at the indicators. All four are bullish right now. It's the prime example where you want to be at. We're just building that next step. December is going to be beautiful leading into the beginning of 2022. All right, so a couple bad days. Um, they're needed. Okay, we need them. So as we go through, all right, bouncing off and going up. Fantastic. All right. So this is weekly, huge red candle, which means you're going to get this. So we might have a red, 1 to 3 weeks. Doesn't mean they're going to be big. They don't need to be, but just keep that in mind. All right. It's not a time to get nervous. It's a time to understand and learn why these things are doing them instead of falling to prey and being the sheep and listening to the wolf. If you know what I mean. All right, everybody. So without further ado, I think I may have stumbled across the next ILUS runner. And why I say that is this. Okay, before I get into the ILUS chart, all right, before I get into this chart right here, I want you to understand the share structure, okay? So, ILUS, okay, market cap is $500 million. Okay, so it's valued at based on its shares and based on its current market share price. Okay, these are the shares authorized that they could have. This is what they have out. So 1.2 billion shares they have out. Float and everything's not up to date. So even this is the 24th, so it's not even truly up to date. So we just got to take with a grain of salt. So 1.2 billion shares, okay, for ILUS, and it's moving. All right. So I'm going to start, let's start backwards. Okay, so I'm going to go to the weekly, and weekly is the strongest of the strong indicators. All right. It takes a week for each one of these candles to be formed to move one of these moving averages. Okay. So if we look at the weekly, all right, in 2021, okay, ILUS had a bump. Okay. It went from 0065 and it went all the way up to 18. Let's just say 19. Okay. That was the top before it had to cool down. Okay. And this is a weekly, each one's weekly, so it's going to take a while. Remember, with our indicators, we like to follow them in sync. So we want the lowest on top and the highest on bottom. So 8 MA, 21 MA, 50 MA, and 200 MA. That is our bullish fan, our bullish pattern. Okay. It's bearish when the 8 starts to go below the first indicator, 21. Okay, hence there. Okay, if it goes below the 50, it gets a little bit more bearish as well. So notice, okay, as it was coming, these two are getting closer and they're going sideways, that the 8 started to tick up. And as soon as it crossed right here, all right, look at this explosion it had. Okay, they went back to the bullish indicators. Okay, so this, all right, indicates this, in my opinion. Okay, you can see it right here. All right, so let's go to the daily. That was the weekly. All right, so I want you to look at this too. So let's do it from this breakout right here. So when they crossed. So the crossing point right here was on the 30th of August. All right, so let's look back. Daily. Let's go back to the 30th of August, okay, when that cross happened. Okay, so right there. All right. So as you can see, that fan happened sooner on the daily. Okay. So as we come through, all 4 of them were crossed over in the right order, right about here. Um, Technically not out till there, but I would have seeing this. I probably seen this go up and above so high. I would have popped in right on the 23rd. But look, right here. Okay, so 1, 2, and then these two. If these two are screaming up, the 50 is going to eventually go. So let's say the 25th of August. Okay. All right, the daily went up. Let's go and look at that bump before. See how all 4 indicators, that's when it was going. All right, right here when they started flailing out on the 27th of January, that's when they went. All right. So we had the 30th on the cross on the weekly. All right. We found out on the 25th, okay, so the 25th, we found out that all of them did it on the daily, so 5 of them. And then let's go to the hourly. This will be our last one to look at. Okay, so when you got to go back to August. Okay, so these all crossed, and we got to see them in order. So 8 is over. See how the 200's on top? That's why this is down. You had to wait for it to go above. All right, so right here it goes above, but we have a bearish cross right here because the 8 dips below. That's why it doesn't go up. It goes sideways, so we go forward. Okay, so right on this date, so the 23rd of August. Hey, what do you know? That daily, I called you out. I would have went in on it. Yeah, right here would be our entryway. Okay, so we saw this. You're gonna have to use your imagination or take a piece of paper up to the screen and cover the right side of the screen so you only see August 23rd to before so you don't see all of this, and then do that for the daily as well, so that this is out of your mind. You have to pretend that that day, August 23rd, is what you're looking at, okay? And then you see all these indicators, okay? You go to the 23rd over here. Okay, 23rd week is right there. Okay, so right before, and you see it's coming up. You see the curl. All right, you see the curl right here. All right, so you know what's going to start coming up. All right, this is leveling out. This is coming out. So August 23rd would be a perfect week to get in. Let's say that we got in on the 23rd of August. Where is my thing? So let's say we grab bottom. We got lucky and we sold luckily at the top. Not going to happen, but let's just say we'll see what our max gains would be. All right, we would have made 572.26% on that. All right, it would have increased 43%, 43 cents. You would have bought it 752 right here on the right side. All right, say that you bought at the top that day. All right, let's see. All right, let's see here, 23rd. All right, top of that wick. Say there. Bought at top. Say you didn't even sell. I'll just show you what it is at top. 311. Okay, it's actually a little bit above too. So maybe I'll just raise it up. So 315. Okay, it's pretty healthy. All right, even that 283. No one's gonna run away from a 3x. All right, so that's a good run. All right, so now that you have all that, okay, have all that information, this is the next ticker that I believe that we will see have an ILUS, in my opinion, type run. MJWL, okay? And this is why I think that MJWL is going to be the next runner. Let's compare, okay? So ILUS has 1.22 billion shares outstanding. Okay. It doesn't give us a restricted or unrestricted. Remember, restricted is company, unrestricted is more retail. So MJWL does give us that. Okay. 5 billion, all right, is authorized. It's not in circulation. Outstanding shares is 1.953. Okay. So we're looking at roughly 720 million more shares. But a billion of those shares are restricted. All right, so that's company based, which means I consider this the float, the unrestricted, in my opinion. Okay, and that is updated as of yesterday. That puts us at 937,395. Let me rephrase that. Geez, stink at this. 937,395,105 shares. Okay. Roughly less than a billion. Okay. Billion shares to ILUS is 1.22 billion. Okay. So you can see that. All right. This float does not hold up because of the date. All right. We have to go by this. And this is not even up to date. So I have no idea. So assuming it's 1.22 billion on ILUS, we're looking at a lot less shares, okay? 300 million for MJWL. All right. Before I get in there, AABB has a float of, it's not up to date either, so we'll go off the unrestricted 2 billion, okay? Let's look at ABB before we get into MJWL and why I think it's going to be a runner. I also think AABB is definitely going to go a lot higher too because of this. So I'll explain this as well. Okay, so let's go to the weekly, work backwards. So we're going to go off this little bump right here. This is around 2018. Okay, so 2018. Look at the indicators that are flying up. This is the pattern we see. We see it go up. All right, there's your indication from the last one. So we move forward, fast forward to February of last year, and we got a huge spike all the way up from, let's see, where were we at in December? We were at .0077. Okay, and we hit a high of almost 66 cents. Okay, so let's go through this. Look at the indicators flying up on the weekly right here, all in our order that we want. We had the 8 come down and cross negatively to a bearish cross on here, and then the 50. So what's going to happen with AABB, as you can see, the curl is starting right now. All right, both the 8 and the 21. Okay, as soon as those all go on top of the 50 right here, this thing is going to push up hard, in my opinion, and continue to grow. All right, it's either going to reach somewhere up here or surpass all-time highs. So I'm very bullish as soon as those indicators go. As you can see, MACD on the weekly has turned, stock has turned as well. RSI is low for a weekly run. RSI on the daily is only 73%. Okay, we're backtracking to the daily now. Okay, so daily, all right, so those weeklies haven't happened yet, so we have to see what we're looking at here. So we're looking at 8 is now over. We need this 200 to go to bottom. So what we're waiting for right here is for the 50 to go above here. All right, and then the 21 to stay above the 50 and the 8 on top. Soon as all those come in, then we're going to push up. All right, that's what needs to happen next. So all these need to go up before that happens, the push. All right, let's go to hourly. Okay, hourly, we made that cross. Let's see if that's there. It crossed here. So technically, um, yesterday it made it. Oh, what do you know? It made that cross right there. Look where it's been since there. Let's take out the measuring. If you bought, as you saw, it was crossing on here. Let's see, you bought there. You are already up at there, 35% almost. All right, just in that as well. So what we're looking for next is the hourly already did that cross. Up on the stock, already up on the MACD. So this will continue to roll because you can see the indicators are all in their correct order. Okay, so what we need now is the daily. We need green, blue, yellow in that order above the purple line. And then that will lead to this coming above as well. This could happen sooner though. That's pretty crazy. So keep that in mind. So I'm expecting some big things. You'll come up, we'll come back down a little bit and come up kind of deal. You know, you're not going to have straight up things. So I'm expecting big things from AABB. All right. So now you understand that. Let's go back to MJWL and why I think that it is the next ILUS runner. Okay. So MJWL theoretically has 300 million less shares on the OS trading retail than ILUS. So MJWL, good gracious, has less shares by 300 million, all right, based on the OTC markets. Okay, so we're starting at the weekly. All right, let's work backwards like we did with the other ones. Okay, notice its first run all the way up to 26. Okay, all right, you saw that. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, they're all there. They all flew up. Okay, bearish cross. All right, so what we're waiting for now. All right, we came down, consolidated, and start to build up here. These are weekly numbers. So what we're waiting for is just the green one on the weekly to get above. All right, as soon as that goes, boom. This is at 25. I'm expecting it to go much, much higher. Okay, usually the second run is typically a larger run. Okay, this sets you up, and then we get going. All right, there's the weekly. Now we're sitting at 12.5 today. All right, look what's coming in. MACD cross is coming soon on the weekly. All right, so you're still about, a week or two away. I'd say 2, just to be safe, on the weekly side. All right, so Look at the indicators. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the color order that we like. 8, 21, 50, 200. All right. Bearish cross. This is on the daily. Okay. Continuing to go down. Goes below the 50, so that makes it even more bearish. All right. Comes above. Look how it comes above the 50. So we're coming up, and it's both of them. That's why it's continuing to go up, and they're in a sequential order. That's why it went up that way. Okay. And now we had a bearish cross down. So now what we're looking for is, notice how this 21 has moved above the 50 on the daily, all right, staying ahead. So what we want is this 21 to curl, which it will, and then as soon as this 8 comes above that, it's going to continue to soar up. So this is really, really, really close on the daily side right here, because all we essentially need right now is just that to go over, which looks like tomorrow in my opinion. um, so we'll see. Let's check out the MACD. All right, let's see. Look, I mean, look at the MACD on the run. Huge, just getting started. Okay, now let's go over to the 1 hour. All right, let's look at the previous run first, and then we'll kind of make our way over. All right, so remember, compared to larger indicators, okay, it's going to be more volatile. So larger, I mean by weekly and daily. So you got hourly, each candle's an hour. So look, broke out, all four in order. Bearish move comes down. That's why stock comes down, goes up. All right, because you can't go straight up. So it's fine. H just kind of bouncing around. The 21 stays above the 50, which is good. Goes bearish cross. Both are beelining down, so you know that it's going to be a sell-off. They both cross below the 50 MA, which indicates that it's definitely not turning around anytime soon. Comes up, bullish cross, but hey, look, we've got this coming screaming down. 21 they try to break it up and push it up and through, okay? But as you can see, it gets rejected. 8 gets rejected. 21 later gets rejected. All right, same thing happens again, rejected. All right, coming down and never passed over, okay, and comes down. Now, you get a huge spike because they come up and they succeed by getting over the 50, but gets rejected by the 200 right here, okay? So the 200 during that time had a death cross right here. All right, so now that's going to act as resistance over the top because the 50 was acting as resistance here. Notice it's bouncing off. All right, and the 200 was screaming up the whole time, and everything else was screaming down. That's very bearish. Okay, and so since they broke the 50, that's good, but now they have the 200 they have to break. So they tried twice, didn't work, but what it helped is bring down this 200. Okay, so we're following down, bouncing off the 50 still, broke the 50, broke the 200, but when was it? September. Um, it's still the 200. That's why it is. Okay, so if you look, remember 200 has to be below all the indicators to really push it through. All right, even though these two broke, the 50 is still beneath it, so you have to wait. Now the 50 is above, but these are below, and you kind of get that sideways consolidation. All right, so now we have this cross right, golden cross right here. The problem is this is sideways movement. You want it more of an upwards movement. If I bring it back, you can see you want to go in the upwards direction because sideways gets you this, all right, that consolidation piece. So as we go back and we're looking at it, so we're doing that sideways action, okay? You have a bearish cross coming down. Now they're both back below it again. Now look, all four are up. Look at the stock price. It goes up, okay? Goes up, goes up, goes up. This is a good thing on the hourly. I'm sure if we went over to the daily, we could see that it was in its bearish mode. Let's look at the date just to double check. So we're looking at October 8th. All right, so let's go to the daily on October 8th. All right, October 8th, October 8th. Okay, October 8th, huge spike. Okay, let's look at the moving indicators, moving averages, excuse me. Obviously, this is at the bottom, that's just good, but the problem was um, that the 50 was here and was not ready. So they saw it, they're trying to push it up, and it did, and it had a bullish movement. Problem was it got rejected right here, which probably led to the weekly indicator being off, which makes it the 18th they sold off on. So they're actually getting resistance. Let's check the 15th and the 18th and see what happened on the weekly. So the 15th of October and the 18th. Okay. All right. So right here. So you're looking at this stick and right here. Um, this looked like it was coming up. I don't know. Maybe there's potential news or something of some sort right here. As you can see, this is still bearish on the weekly overall, but to get a big red candle like that, it's kind of waving a flag. Um, was that the week of the sell-off? I can't remember that we had that pullback. It might be that week that everything kind of went bearish. You know what I mean? We had that overall pullback. That might have been that week, and that might have been why. Um, so let's go back to the hourly. As you can see, we had that, so went back down below again, started all over again. So now we're looking, all right, we've got a golden cross created today. It'll officially go all the way over. I mean, it's slightly over, but more of a confirmation will be tomorrow. All right, we're building our steps along the way. This will bounce right up here because we'll get buys because of all these indicators. So you got the golden on the 1. You're going to get this bounce off of the 21 with the green because of that. So then we go to the daily. Okay, so as you're looking at the daily, you got the 200 on the bottom is what you need. Next, what we need is the 50 above the 200, which it is. All right, next what we need is the 21 above here. It is, but the problem is that the 8's below the 21. We need that. So as soon as that comes up and over, tomorrow, um, tomorrow and then Friday for sure. That will come over and that will be bullish. And then when we come to the weekly, all right, that will be the end of this week right here, which would create this to move up some more. So we're looking at 2 weeks around Thanksgiving for the cross and afterwards before it moves up even more. So once all that craziness happens, all right, we're talking about this. All right, let me get a pen. All right, let me get my, let's make it green so we can have some fun. All right, it's gonna do this. All right, moving indicator is, then it's gonna do this too. All right, that's pretty poor, but you get the idea. It's gonna be more like this. All right, it's gonna be here, and then this guy's gonna go like that. This guy's gonna go here, and then this guy's going to go here. All right, and then we're going to have our bullish on the weekly, which is the strongest one. Okay, so once that happens, all right, let me change this to orange. All right, so we're going to start building our stairs. So we'll get this huge pop, and then we'll go here, and we'll build our stairs like this as it goes up. Okay, and once it hits some type of top up here, I'm going to come back. All right, it's going to do the same thing. So all stocks, they just can't go up forever. They're gonna run too hot because people are going to be buying like crazy, thinking that they've got one that's going to run to $1 or something. This might get close. I don't know. Um, I have no idea. I don't do PTs. I just follow the indicators until they say. All right, it's going to come up, and then what's going to happen is you're going to get this huge sell off. You're going to get the dead cat bounce, and then you're going to go here, and it's going to go like this again, and then it's gonna go kind of like that. All right, and then this is gonna be, these are gonna be your new higher lows up here. Okay, so, and then for the next run for that, we'll go up and continue to move. All right, so that's how that's playing out in my mind, and based on all the indicators of past stocks, and now this one, MJW, and why I'm so bullish on this. Okay. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is all my opinion for entertainment purposes. I really appreciate everybody's feedback and your follows and having fun on Twitter. It's been really, really blast. I think we've been doing it for like a month now, maybe, or a little bit of a month. I've really actually been getting like really into it. Um, I mean, you all have made this really fun for me. I really enjoy doing it. I really like hearing how much I've helped and done all of that thing. So keep them coming. It's definitely motivation, and um, I'm here to help entertain. Um, so yeah, so I hope everybody continues to have a great day, and I will catch you all later. Adios.